Welcome everybody to the War Zone. It's not the War Zone, it's 3 and Out. I'm Marco. He's Eric. I'm a little jealous of Vince McMahon's introduction. I know you and I have been watching a lot of wrestling lately. A lot. And the nostalgia is just something else. I just can't wait to continue. If you're wondering why there's a microphone in my face, this is the pilot episode to see if we can get this thing up and running. So pardon me for having this with me, but let me I feel like Mr. Anderson, if you remember him from the Ruthless Aggression era. It would come down from the ceiling, and he would just, he was just a phenomenal announcer.
It makes you look professional,
Distinguished.
intelligent. Yes, very proper.
Yes, it's got this little tripod action.
It's kind of an old school.
Yeah,
It's bulb at the top too.
It's
I like
what Enzo Amore is rocking now, who's popular amongst the kiddos.
A little sexual too, if you take it down.
I'll take it. I ain't gonna put it anywhere, but we're ready to rock. No surprise this week. A lot of you folks were disappointed. This was another ugly week too. Another week where offenses continue to struggle and defenses continue to play well.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of that will continue to adjust as the season goes on, but a lot of these slow starts, I think we kind of anticipated, we kind of talked about. Obviously, the Thursday night games continue to be an absolute show.
Disaster.
Pardon my French. What we're going to do this week is look at each of the positions, and we'll kind of just run down who finished hot and who finished not. And obviously, conversation there will be driven by who needs to be picked up and who needs to be dropped at this point. Maybe who's a buy low, maybe who's a sell high. It's transaction time because a lot of you are 0-2, and if you are, could be time to start making some moves.
Yes, you're getting worried if you're 0-2.
You're very concerned.
Because everybody's up here when the season starts. You have your team. Oh, I'm great. I got my guy, this guy, that guy, bada boo, and then you drop week 1. Okay, no
Fine.
problem.
And everybody can take a week.
Whatever. You drop the second week.
Hey.
Now you're thinking, wow, did I ruin it all? Is my season over? So now we really start to evaluate things.
We know that at the very least, you really need to be 7-6 to squeak into the playoffs. And if you go 0-2, you can only afford 4 more losses before you need to start ripping off some wins.
That's right. Because people look at the NFL season, 16 weeks, 17 weeks, I got plenty of time. No, not so much.
You don't.
Fantasy season, for most of us, ends after week 13.
Absolutely correct.
Playoffs start 14. So.
And we know the Giants did start 0-2 when they made that famous Super Bowl run against those Patriots in 2007.
But right now, we don't really want to be like the Giants.
I don't really want to be like them at all. And obviously, we'll get into that Monday Night Disaster. Another program that continues to really suffer.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just jump right into it. We're going to go into the running backs. It's the most exciting position this year. I think we both agree in 2015, it was the year of the running back. Wide receivers really fell off, and they were valued highly going into 2016. And then what happened last year was the wide receivers just popped off.
Yeah.
Did I just get that thing completely backwards?
I think you got it backwards.
I think I got it completely backwards because now I'm remembering how terrible the wide receivers were.
Wide receivers dominated. That was the year of Odell, Julio, Brown all going crazy.
Oh, man.
And it was last year that they kind of slipped back and running backs reasserted themselves. That's why you saw more running backs in the first round.
We'll just edit that out. Just go ahead and ignore that.
Okay.
So your top running backs during week 2 were none other than C.J. Anderson, Kareem Hunt, Chris Thompson at 3, Ty Montgomery 4, Todd Gurley, Devontae Freeman, Jalen Richard sneaks in there with a touchdown on the Jets, Buck Allen, Melvin Gordon, Carlos Hyde, and Derrick Henry being the notable. I believe I counted off 12.
Now, we're talking half-point PPR for our viewers and listeners at home.
Absolutely
Whenever
correct.
we're referring to our rankings, this guy's an RB1, RB2, we are referring 12-team, half-point PPR. That's what we play. That's what we refer to keep everything kind of standardized.
Absolutely correct. And I think we got to go right into the guy who finished first, whose value has skyrocketed. Mm-hmm. Might be worth a second-round pick if you were redoing drafts.
Yeah.
C.J. Anderson.
He looks phenomenal.
Thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions?
I mean, he looks great, both running, receiving. You know, the thing with him is he was a first round pick, I think, back in 2015, coming
Yes.
off a hot season.
Yes, he was.
His thing is he's never just been able to stay healthy. Who knows? But he's healthy right now, and he looks fantastic. The improved offensive line in Denver, plus the improved play of Trevor Siemian, plus the best defense in the league,
Yes.
all just creates this beautiful world for CJ to be an RB1 for me.
Yeah, I'm smiling because, as Sergio Dip put it, Vance Joseph is having the time of his life.
Yes,
This team looks fantastic. They look right now. First of all, what a division,
Yeah.
because they're all look good. Obviously, the Chargers lost two heart crushers.
Yeah,
But
as
if you
they-
take
as
away
they normally do.
right,
Yeah.
if you take away the kicker, though, I mean, it's a team that plays good defense. The
Sure.
offense can move the ball.
Yeah.
So C.J. Anderson, for me, I feel bad for kind of you called it. I didn't talk a lick about him
Yeah.
post draft. I was disinterested. I was not willing to put in the time to him. But you're right. When he's healthy, he's good.
He's good.
And right now, he looks really damn healthy.
And with that defense, I mean, they're going to be a good team. They're going to be in games. They're not going to be
Salted
getting
that
that clock
crush.
away. You know,
Salted the
they're
clock
never going to
away.
be in a situation like you saw Dallas in,
Correct.
where they just can't even. They have to abandon the running back game. Denver is there to run it. Anderson, he's touches, catches, carries.
It's everything you want right now. The only thing I will add is Jamal Charles is kind of worthy of a pickup. He looked good.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything happens
I think
to
we mentioned last week
Anderson,
he looked good, but yeah, if Anderson, who's been known to pick up a knock or two and miss
Yeah.
a couple games, Charles is definitely going to be a great play.
maybe you see the Henderson kid, but I think Charles slides immediately into a
Yeah.
15-18 touch role.
Yeah.
It becomes absolutely valuable, especially with the disastrous landscape that fantasy's already become. Moving on,
I'm with you.
Kareem Hunt pops off again. Had a bad first half. Eagles looked tremendous. I know you loved their defense coming into the year.
Mm-hmm.
You called it. This front four, this linebacking core, gets at the quarterback. They disrupted Alex Smith all game. Hunt, I think, had 7 yards after the first half.
Yeah.
But what in the second half?
Popped off for a few chunk gains.
Good lord.
But yeah, finishing with 2 touchdowns, only 3 catches, but you'll live with that. 13 carries. You wish you had a little more volume, but when you're scoring, you're getting in the end zone. It doesn't really matter. He's
I don't.
so explosive. It's
I don't know whether to be more impressed by the 53-yard scamper or the 1-yard touchdown. You need to look at both. The
Yeah.
1-yard touchdown, the call on it's amazing, but we watched it too. We were at the bar, and he's boop, 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 and he just keeps moving his feet, and then just sticks his hand out underneath
Yeah.
the lineman's leg or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a play that Paul Perkins would not score, and it's a play that most running backs would
Many
have got
guys would
stuffed
not
on.
score, yeah.
And maybe the next touch doesn't go to him. That's how valuable he is right now. And to me, it was remember the first game? When he caught the ball in stride on that 80-yard pass or something like that.
Uh-huh.
He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he has this ability to just lose the guy behind.
Yeah.
He stays on his feet.
Swerve.
The guy that can finish
he's,
these long scampers is going to be so valuable. So the question then becomes, and
Yeah.
we got a compliment from a viewer, which we appreciate the hell out of, and we had a fantastic question, which is Kareem Hunt versus Ezekiel Elliott.
right.
I guess you could say
Now,
this year.
this was a keeper league. He was asking us.
Correct.
It was essentially a 1-for-1 swap. Hogan was the other item in the trade.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk just Elliott and Hunt.
Yes.
And my immediate reaction was, oh, it's Elliott. No doubt about it.
Has to be.
Proven workhorse. Last year is phenomenal. The line is phenomenal. The setup is phenomenal. And then I'm thinking more and more, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
All this noise, what really started to move the wheels in my head is all this noise surrounding Zeke Elliott with the trouble off the field, him giving up on that interception in the game the other night.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's all just negative talk, and I don't
I know.
know whether I want to put my money behind this guy
Yeah.
over Hunt, behind Hunt's explosive offense,
Yep.
explosive player,
Yep.
with a coach who's proven to just produce RB1s, no matter who is back there.
Yep.
My only concern with Hunt next year. This
Sure.
year, I think he's locked in. He could
Sure.
easily beat Elliott. He could easily be the number 1 runner.
Are you
next
no longer
year.
worried? I was just saying, beyond next year, are you only concerned with though that he's played 2 games? I mean,
No,
It's the sample size. You're sold.
Sample size? What? I mean, Jesus.
He's had 2 career games.
No. He's explosive.
I'm
and
with
this
you.
team is
I gotta
doing-
play
this
devil's
team is
advocate,
doing
though.
it. This
I gotta
team
play
is
devil's
doing
advocate,
it.
but I'm
I
with
hear
you.
you. So next year, Alex Smith has played great so far the first 2 games. We could see him be more of the bottom tiered Alex Smith that he's been in the past.
Right.
If they move to Pat Mahomes next year, how does that impact Hunt? I don't know. There could be a little more consistency. That's the only thing I could really come up with right
Sure.
now to bring down Hunt.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mahomes looked good in preseason, but I don't know. I think what we ended up kind of deciding is you really can't lose.
No.
But I think you said it to me, and I hadn't thought about it. That schedule this year for Zeke is tough,
It's really tough.
right?
Much tougher than last year, yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, we're down on him because it's that one game. It's
I can't wait till KC plays Denver and really see how Hunt.
That's a really good point. So for right now, I think let's let that simmer. Let's let those thoughts simmer.
Yeah.
Chris Thompson popped off is going to be a hot pickup this year. After this game, we'll talk about him in a second. But the next guy up on this list is Ty Montgomery, who you nailed.
Yeah, only 10 carries, 35 yards, but he punched in another touchdown on the ground, and then he got 7 targets, 6 catches, 75 yards, and another score through the air.
Is he just another version of? I mean, he's just Melvin Gordon, except on a better offense.
Melvin Gordon with a chance for a lot higher rushing efficiency.
Okay.
I would say.
I think
Maybe
both these
not-
guys in the open field are just dangerous, though.
Oh yeah,
Elusive.
absolutely.
Power.
But Ty Montgomery, yeah, I mean he's established himself as the workhorse, the running back for Green Bay. All that talk of the Williams
I don't
kid
even remember
is
his
just
name. Was
Joe,
it Jonathan?
John,
Joe?
Jimmy,
Jack.
JoJo.
Let's go, JoJo.
Just
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Done.
What, you got like a carry last night or something like that, or Sunday night rather.
Montgomery established himself as an RB1.
So if you nailed him, good for him. And the next guy up is Todd Gurley, Devontae Freeman. Love both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
We were a little cooler on Gurley though after week 1 because he should have ripped up that Colts defense.
Well, we wanted to see this kind of rushing performance.
And this
16
was
for 88.
so nice. This was so nice. And that touchdown,
The athleticism on display.
hurtling over guys.
Not the only guy he hurdled in that game.
No,
either.
it was
People
not.
Probably missed the first one if you weren't watching, but he did it to another guy. So the athleticism on display here. Has a good game, efficient. I think that was maybe his best rushing output since his rookie year.
What did he actually finish with?
16 for 88 and a score. And he had 4 targets, 3 catches, another 48 yards. The receiving numbers are great for him so far. And another score through the air. 2 touchdowns on the day.
So another guy who I think we felt comfortable with as an early round investment, as a second round investment.
Yeah.
An arrow up guy for us that is coming through.
Yeah.
Devontae Freeman, another arrow up guy that's coming through. I think the public was a little down on him in a draft season. I don't know why. It was just the respect.
For whatever
wasn't
reason,
there.
he was down in Howard.
Right, he was a
territory.
tier 2, and I
don't
don't
know.
think that was part. It shouldn't have been part of the conversation at all.
Explosive- Atlanta-
I'd take him over McCoy for years.
Yeah, at this point, definitely. But I think that people were worried the Atlanta offense maybe wouldn't hit the ground running.
Sure, was going to regress.
Going
I
to
get it.
regress with
Record-breaking
Shanahan going west, but they look fine.
Yeah.
And Freeman looks great.
Haven't missed a beat. So good on you, Coleman. Really not a factor until Devontae eats. I think is really what it is. Feed the beast, and then then Coleman can come in. He did get some goal line work. He obviously caught the touchdown, which was nice. I didn't really want to talk about Richard. I do want to talk about Buck Allen though.
Yeah, that's
because
definitely a guy
he
we
was
talk
not the guy everyone was running to the waivers for.
He was playing second fiddle to Tariq Cohen last week.
Right, and ask now, ask Kerwin Williams. Who, if you spend
Yes.
any money on him,
you're kicking yourself.
holy smokes. I saw some things on Twitter, some guys, I think it was an expert, said he bid $100. He spent his entire waiver
Everything.
budget on Kerwin Williams.
Well, that man should not be
Just
called an
quit.
expert anymore.
Just
I don't
quit.
know.
Yeah, take away the credentials. I don't know.
Yeah. So Buck Allen, Finished with a 14 for 66 line on the ground. Also caught 5 passes for 35 yards and a
And a
score.
touch.
Terrence West came out of the game banged up.
Yes, he did.
We're doing this before Wednesday, before we get the official injury report, but there's a chance he could be questionable, maybe not play. But even so, Buck looks like the best back here. He's taken the Danny Woodhead role and then taken more.
Yeah.
Woodhead is not getting 14 carries.
Right.
Allen is.
I think I should have been more respectful of the fact that he did get 21 carries. I know it was salt away mode, but when a guy if he's getting 21 carries when the other guy's healthy,
They like him and he's doing
You
well.
like him.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's 20. It was kind of inefficient, so that's what kind of gave me
Right.
some pause. But
Right.
it's volume. I don't know. Maybe Terrence, for your Terrence West owner, you're not really able to sell at this point.
No,
You like the fact that he got a touchdown, but you kind of
Yeah.
got to just hope that he gets healthy and remains relevant, especially
Yeah.
around the goal line. But
Yeah.
a turn of events after just 2 weeks for him, a guy that we liked going in, a guy that performed week 1.
Uh-huh.
But Buck Allen's arrow way up.
Way up.
Gordon was next. The only thing really that came out of this game was the inefficiency. 9 yards.
9 yards. No, 9 carries.
9
excuse
carries.
me, 13 yards and a score, but heavily involved
Right.
in the passing game.
8 targets.
7 catches, 65 yards. So he saves you with some points there, and the score obviously puts you over, putting him in the top 10 here. It's a Gordon line. Like you said, we were talking about it pre-show. Kind of what he does when he's not having a great day on the ground. He's going to find a way to get you some points,
Right.
and you're okay with that as a Gordon owner. You're
Yeah,
still happy.
I feel so validated. Again, I was heavily invested. I think I had him 3 of 4 teams, and first round picks this year were rough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for the guys in the back. I think that's where a lot of the damage is being done right now in that turn. If you had to suffer through that, call us Hyde. Anything special to note?
No, he looked
Just
great.
looks
He
good.
looked great in Seattle.
Yeah.
It was pouring for a while out there.
Right. Good point.
He looked good wearing no gloves, just scooting around. He was 15 for 124. Also had a healthy 6 targets. Unfortunately, only caught 3 for 19, but good to see him getting the looks still there. I still like Carlos Hyde, man. I think he has a good shot to finish as a back end one high too, because I don't think the touchdowns will be there.
Right.
But he's
Yeah.
a very talented running back.
Yeah, he is. I just like to see that he's not having to rely on the catches to get him there. It's the running which
Yeah,
is getting there.
yeah.
Really enjoying that. Looking down the list, this is kind of the story of the week is
This
Derrick
is a
Henry.
big storyline.
And this is a controversial issue because I believe half of Twitter, maybe 3/4, is running in the direction that the job is his. He's established himself. DeMarco Murray sucks. He looks like crap. This is 2 games in a row. Now he's dinged.
And I'll admit, that was me on Sunday, sitting there watching this game as a Murray
Very
owner.
depressed.
In the second half, when
Sure.
they're up big, I'm like, Murray should have 25 carries by the end of this thing. Give me 100 yards.
Yeah.
Just pounding away. And he's nowhere to be found. It's Henry looking great, crushing all Jaguars in his path.
That GD touchdown was
He's a beast. So that's how I felt on Sunday.
sure.
Now, we've moved forward a little bit.
Sure.
Some time for the emotions to settle down.
Okay.
And for the brain to kick in.
Okay.
And I'm of the sentiment now, it's still Murray's job. And I don't think Henry is going to usurp it for any reason other than Murray being inactive.
So at worst, this is a 60-40 split for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the status quo remains.
Okay.
As long as Murray's on the field, his team is built around him. The
Okay.
money is invested in him.
Yep.
Yes, Derrick Henry is super talented, but it was the same story last year.
Yep.
It's the similar story in Atlanta.
Right.
I think I'm still riding Murray, and I'm crossing both my fingers.
Okay, and that's I guess I'll agree with you. This was the
But it's
year.
scary.
This was my not that I'm a genius, but this was my prediction this year that this usurpation, if that's a word, was going to happen this year, and I think it's lending itself that way because Murray cannot get over this hamstring injury. This bothered him during
He's
preseason.
noticeably
And he
tick
looked
slower.
terrible.
Yeah, it was bothering him during the game, and that's why they sat him down.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they just rest him all week.
So if he comes out week 3 and he's good to go,
Who are they playing?
I
week
guess
3?
I'm
I
with
wanna
you.
see.
but man,
They have Seattle, home against
oh,
Seattle.
wait. I mean,
You-
I know
You think that's a tough? I mean, Carlos
Yeah.
Hyde just ripped them up
because
for
Hyde
125.
popped off for like a 65-yard run. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah.
The rest of it, but Sheldon Richardson's looked wonderful.
Yeah.
The rest of the defenses look wonderful. To me, Murray, not an otherworldly talent at this point in his career. Very concerned.
All right, we'll see. But as a Murray owner, what are you doing? You can't.
But you can't. What do you get? Yeah. Try and get
sell
Henry.
him.
You got to sell for Henry.
You either try and get Henry or you sell him to the Henry owner.
Fine, but
But what else? I mean,
hold or sell. I'm not buying though. I'll tell you that much.
unless you get him like from a totally irrational
Yeah.
Murray owner who's selling him for a
Pennies on the dollar.
flex player.
Sure.
You know?
Okay,
But I don't see anybody with a half a brain doing that. So
I'm with you there. Gonna skip through. I don't even want to talk about Bell. What I do want to talk about is Chris Carson.
Carson.
Oh,
And
boy.
your boy. I give
Yes.
you a lot of credit for this one
I
because
appreciate that.
I was holding out on him, but he is by far the best running back in this
Yeah.
backfield. Through 2 weeks,
Yeah.
he's Pro Football Focus's number 3 running back.
Wow.
They have their own grading system.
That's awesome.
He's number 3. You got 20 carries in this one. Mind you, Rawls started and was healthy. It's not like he left the game because he got hurt, re-aggravated injury, or nothing. It was just Carson was the better player, clearly.
Absolutely.
So 20 carries, 93 yards. A lot of it came in the fourth quarter, just salting away the 3-point lead.
Mm-hmm.
2 targets, 1 catch, 7 yards, whatever. But you'll take the 93 on the ground, and he's establishing himself as the Seattle back. To see him do that behind the shitty, disgusting offensive line that they have too is even more impressive.
Yes.
All the more reason why I think they'll stick with him.
Yeah, I mean, Carroll has always said, he's maintained this is an open competition. He didn't have
Absolutely.
loyalty. And he's been very aggressive with his next man up.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Eddie Lacy, 5 carries first. You're inactive. He's a healthy inactive.
Yeah.
If he's still rostered by your team, you need to kind of rethink your life. I mean, you're really,
Well,
really...
we hope you're not relying on Rawls to be a starter or anything for you. And Seattle, the schedule, they're in Tennessee this week. Then it opens up a bit. They're going to be home against Indy. You can see Carson doing some damage there. And then they're going to be in LA against the Rams, who just got absolutely ravaged by the Redskins on the ground this past week.
Yes.
So potential for 2 big games there. Tennessee really doesn't scare me all that much, although they did a good job against Fournette. But Carson could potentially give you some good weeks there, looking like an RB2.
Yeah, I think I'm going to rock him the flex right now. If you were desperate and you were able to get your hands on him, this is the last call on Carson. That's for damn
Oh
sure.
yeah.
If you didn't get him now, he should really be gone in your leagues unless you're playing in a 4-team league, which I hope none of you are. I trust that our loyal listeners are not. But just to throw that out there, any other stinkers or things that piqued your interest before we, I guess, need to talk about probably that Washington backfield is the last thing on my mind.
James White, another solid game. 8 targets, 8 catches, 85 yards. He's going to be an animal. PPR. Gillisley finds the end zone again for New England.
Yep, well said.
Burkhead with a nice little first quarter or whatever he had until he had to leave the game. He was lining up all over the field in the slot, in the backfield. He had a touchdown.
Just when you thought you could drop him.
Just when you thought you were about to drop him, he got the start, too. He
Yeah.
was on the field for the first couple snaps, so he looked good. Anybody else I want to hit on? I'm scrolling.
Le'Veon Bell struggling. I'm still buying.
Yeah,
I think
31
everyone's buying.
touches. I mean, you love that workload.
Yeah, the volume's
Better days are definitely still
Yeah.
ahead.
Tariq Cohen, another 9 targets, 8 catches. If you're in half point or full point PPR, you're loving that pickup.
Howard in a sling
Yes.
after this game, too.
Yes.
But here's the thing. If Howard misses time, I'm curious to see what they do with the backfield because Cohen doesn't profile as a 20-touch guy.
No, and I think they've said that.
Yeah.
Or maybe that. No, sorry, that was Jay Gruden talking about Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson. So I don't even know who's behind Cohen. It'd
Good.
probably be good to look
A
up.
little secret Googling after the episode before I upload it so I get a
Right.
advantage on some of these suckers.
Dalvin Cook looked okay. He only got 12 carries, but that offense kind of got torpedoed by the late deactivation of Sam Bradford.
I thought some love at Amir Abdullah.
Abdullah had a nice, but
He had a
just
couple
not
explosive
involved in the
plays.
pass game,
No,
unfortunately.
He's not, and he also gets taken. Oh my God, he had 0 targets. Holy crap!
Yeah, not
And-
involved at all.
And he will not score a touchdown unless it's on a 30-yard run or more.
Yeah, but he looked good running the ball. I mean, give him, give
Yeah,
him
no.
credit where credit's
If,
due.
if
but-
you have him as a flex,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
If you have him
Yeah.
as a 2,
Yeah. Are we
Probably on
talking P. Ryan Thompson yet, or you want?
I think this is it. This is going to wrap up our running back
That's
segment.
fine. That's good.
Which is, what's going on in the Washington backfield.
So Kelly left the game with a rib injury.
Okay.
And again, we're doing this before Wednesday, before we have the official injury report. I've seen multiple stories coming out. He has a broken rib, he has a bruise, he has some cartilage damage. I don't know. My guess is it's going to hurt to play running back with any kind of rib issue. If he plays, P. Ryan is obviously not so hot of a pickup. If he's out, P. Ryan could be looking at 20 carries.
I think guys are going to be blowing their loads. We've already seen it on this guy. If you got him cheap because everyone was uncertain about what's actually going to happen, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I heard there was no fracture, but we have no idea. He could still miss a game. He could still
Right.
miss 2 games. It's going to be tender.
So let's go on the premise that Kelly is out
Okay.
for this week against Oakland.
Okay.
Potential high-scoring game.
Sure.
You know Oakland's hot offense. They're coming to
Yep.
play. I might still prefer Thompson here, and I think I'm pretty confident in saying that, actually.
In just the Raiders matchup.
Just the
I
Raiders
agree.
matchup, and then actually they're in KC the week after,
Yes.
which could be another game where they're trailing. And then they have their bye week 5. So for the immediate future, the first 2 weeks, I might like Thompson, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, he's not getting a ton of touches, but hopefully you see a bump because the first 2 weeks he's shown
Yeah.
big playability.
No, the big plays are there. You wonder if they're sustainable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something just seems different this year. Like the Chris Thompson of old,
Yeah.
with the really limited workload, and outside of a couple frustrating games for the big back owner,
Yeah.
kind of non-existent. It just seems like Jay Gruden really likes him.
Gruden's
He
always been
knows
all over
how
Thompson, yeah.
good he
Yeah.
is, and I mean they threw him 2 end zone fades for crying out loud.
Yeah.
When you have 6'9" Terrell Pryor on the field,
Right.
so something is.
No,
Cooking.
they definitely love him. I would like to see him on the field more. I guess they're just worried about him breaking down as a smaller guy. But,
Yeah. So
I mean, at some point you got to let your
to
playmakers
your
just play.
point,
right?
though, I think the only thing we can say with Definity is you're starting Thompson over P. Ryan if you somehow ended up with both. That's just, we would rank him above.
Right.
That's the point.
Right.
Moving on to quarterbacks.
Moving on.
Story of the week was Tom Brady, who we were ready to write off in week 1. I'm kidding. We know he's going to be a little rusty, no preseason.
Yeah.
Hot opening by the Chiefs. Explodes, and it mostly damage done in the first half. 447 for 3 touchdowns, and threw in 9 rushing yards. You like that?
Wow. Really getting involved
Average
on the ground there.
4.5 yards a carry, which is elite. So touchdown Tom is back in doing the job in what we expected, which was the Saints' pitiful defense. They continue to struggle. I think the 2 stories of the week for me are Carson Wentz, who finished number 2, and Trevor Seaman as number 3. Talk to me about Carson Wentz first.
Carson. I mean, another guy, a guy who's ascending coming into the year. They improved the weapons dramatically.
Yes, they
on
did.
Offense, bringing in Alshon Jeffrey.
Yes,
They
did.
gave him Torrey Smith. Who, people write off Torrey Smith,
Yeah.
but they're throwing him
They're
the ball
throwing him
deep
the
down
ball.
the field, and
They're
he's
throwing
catching
the
a couple balls. He opens
Sure.
that offense up a little bit
Yes,
for them.
sir.
Zach Ertz,
Oh my God.
looking fantastic.
This guy's a top 5 tight end easily now.
He's looking great.
Disastrous tight end.
So he's
landscape.
got weapons. He has Sproles to throw to out of the backfield. And
Yes,
what
sir.
works, what makes him even better, is that they're going to have no running game.
Exactly.
0 running game.
Love it.
Blunt is trash.
Yeah. And even if the Blunt doesn't play like he didn't, it's still Wendell Smallwood for 8 carries,
8
10,
carries,
like,
12 yards. And
no,
then
this
Darren
team's
Small-
gonna
yeah,
throw.
they're
Doug
throwing.
Peterson wants to throw.
They're
He
here
threw
to
the
throw.
ball 55 times.
They're here to throw.
Maybe
and then
50,
you
56.
talk about a run streak quarterback. Wentz here, 4 attempts, 55
Love that.
yards.
Pad them stats, boy.
Bad stat. Yeah, I mean, you don't expect that every week. We're kidding.
But I take it though.
But yeah, you take it, definitely.
Shows the willingness. Got a lot of poise. The volume's going to be there.
Curious to see how he plays in division, specifically against the Giants
Oh yeah.
and the who's the other guys in there? The Redskins.
The
with
Skins.
Norman, if Norman follows Jeffrey, we'll find out this week. They're home against the struggling Giants.
Okay. I mean, Stafford struggled to the tune of what, like 125 yards or something like that.
Yeah, they also didn't need to throw the ball at all.
Wonderfully said. Beautifully said.
So
Trevor Simeon,
Simeon,
the monkey.
looks great, man. Looks great.
Unbelievable. Is
Mike
he the real
McCoy
deal?
back in Denver as the offensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
Simeon looks smart, decisive,
Yes, sir.
sharp. We talked about C.J. Anderson before, how he's running
Everything's
all over
just
people. The
clicking.
offensive line looks better than last year.
Clicking.
Of course, he's got 2 outstanding receivers in Sanders and DT on the outside.
Yep.
I'm not ready to throw him, vault him up there like, oh, QB1. No.
No.
Definitely on the streaming radar every week.
Absolutely.
If you're in a
A
two
solid QB2.
quarterback, he's definitely on your roster somewhere. But yeah, he's played great at home. Definitely bump him up a little bit.
Yep.
The only thing that's going to limit his ceiling is how good the team is overall, especially the defense.
Yes.
They could be getting out to a lot of
leads up.
double-digit leads.
Yes.
No,
No, that's well said.
and he threw for 231 yards, 4 touchdowns. That'll probably be his high for the season.
Yes, I am not expecting
A more
big
realistic
numbers,
line
right.
for him is probably 230 for 2 touchdowns and 1
Right.
interception.
But that plays this year.
But that plays too.
And I'll tell you why that plays, Eric. Because who finished as the number 7 quarterback this week?
That would be shout out Matt Vallo's buddy Deshaun Watson.
They lunch together every day.
They were buddies.
They
Almost
took showers
lived
together. Right.
Sophomore year.
Yes, I
But,
did hear that rumor report.
Little conflict over who's getting the top bunk, I think.
It's going to be a little noisy for Matt if he was on the bottom there.
So Deshaun threw for 125, no touchdowns, no picks, had 5 carries, 67 yards, and a long touchdown, which really put him over the top.
Oh, yes, sir.
So yeah, that puts him in the top 10, and that's not saying much for the other
Yeah.
quarterbacks
I
in the
think
league.
this kind of epitomizes why we're continuing to see offensive struggles this year, because the quarterbacks are really struggling.
Yeah.
But your boy Derek Carr did really well. I think that's a nice story. I think I still will be cautious because he started off hot last year.
Yeah.
When the matchups get tough, though, let's see how he fares.
Sure.
But you love-
for now.
you
I mean, that
love-
offense is rocking
Yeah.
and rolling.
Absolutely, it's wonderful to see that they have a
Denver
confident running
week
game now.
4
Yeah.
in Denver will be very interesting, followed by a home matchup against Baltimore, who has
Ooh,
shown
wow.
to be a fantastic defense so far.
Wow. Okay. See, that's something. Yeah, that's definitely something
Those
to
are the
make
2
me
weeks
nervous.
to watch.
The only thing I'll mention before we move on is Simeon. I'm really curious about this Bills matchup because I think people are saying, "Oh yeah, we're ready to stream." Blah 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 blah. Eric, the Bills. We were watching the game. It probably wasn't 10.
It looked like Cam Newton got sacked 10 times though.
I think he got sacked, I want to say 6 or 8
Every
times.
time he was
Those
on
split
the
pressure.
ground.
They have some pass rushers.
So we'll
The
see if
defense
this
is-
line
Bills
can hold
defense
up
can
for
play.
Trevor. Yeah,
Those defense
okay.
can play.
So, not as easy as people think. That's what I'll say.
What are the quarterbacks you want to talk about?
I mean, Dak struggled against a good defense. He's,
He's also forced to throw the ball 50 times
Yeah. I
against
think
Denver.
again,
Nobody's.
it's Dez who's looking like he's, dealing with the great defenses that he's playing against. It's Ezekiel who's showing that he's not immune, and now it's Dak who's kind of not necessarily going to deliver the same top 10.
But this is a worst case scenario, I think, for Dallas, and this might be their worst game script scenario all year.
Oh yes, I agree.
Denver like that, yeah.
The only two other guys that kind of pickle my tickle is Russell Wilson, who once again struggled against what should have been an exploitable defense
my
in San
God.
Francisco,
Yeah.
and Kirkland Cousins, who
I don't know if it was game script, but they just are not throwing the ball right now. They're not
Yeah.
getting anyone involved.
Well, they're crushing it on the ground. Kelly was having a big day.
Yeah.
Thompson obviously popped.
Yeah.
P. Ryan had his.
did they win that game?
60-something
Did they win?
yards.
What was the deal?
They
won. They won.
Yeah, they
Okay,
won.
So they were just They were really just salting the clock away.
They
And,
won. I don't think it was a game where he needed to throw a ton or
Oh.
take a ton of shots. But yeah, you're disappointed as a Cousins guy.
Really disappointed.
Especially with so many weapons on that offense to really sustain Pryor, Crowder, Reed.
Yeah.
You got
You have to go.
179 yards is not going to do
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I guess they're really. How do you feel moving forward? Is this just a slow start, or is this could be a thing that plagues them all year?
I want to look at their schedule and
A
see what's
Deshaun
happening.
Jackson-less team, a Pierre Garcon-less team,
A Sean McVay-less
McVay.
team.
less team.
We could see things get better
I
against
want- yeah.
Oakland.
I
Probably
wanna
gonna have
hold-
to
I
throw
wanna
the
hold
ball now. Definitely, you got to hold. They're in KC, then they got to buy when they can kind of rework
Right.
things. San Fran, Philly, Dallas. I mean, that could offer you a hot start right
Okay.
there.
All right, so we're holding on him. What about Russell? I feel like he's started slow before, and I feel like he's
feel like-
finished as the top quarterback
Yeah, I
with
feel
a
like this
line
is
that's
kind of
this
his
bad.
thing,
Is
right?
just to kind of start slow and
I
just
think-
frustrate you until you want to
If
drop him.
Carson too can really ascend into this role and
Sure.
establish the running, I think it'll go a long, long way to helping
That's
Wilson out.
a key point.
Long way, because he has weapons.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Baldwin, Jimmy Graham, Paul Richardson ascending.
Jimmy,
Graham,
we'll get to.
and Lockett. He's got guys to throw the ball to, and he can make things happen on the ground. He needs a little help though with the running game. I think.
Yeah, bro.
But still, the offensive line looks terrible. They
That's concerning. Who are they facing week 3?
they're in Tennessee,
Okay.
which isn't really that.
So
big.
I'll ask you this:
Yeah.
as we leave the quarterback situation, you're a Russell Wilson owner. Are you playing him, or if you have the ability to stream, if you can get
Give
your
me a
hands on a
name.
Wentz, if you can get your hands on a Seaman, if you can get your hands on a Deshaun Watson,
No, I think
That
I'm
was
still
a joke.
rolling
That last
Russell
one was a
Wilson out. I think you got to keep rolling him out right now.
Okay. Moving on. Oh man,
Where are we going? Wide
we're
receiver.
going wide receiver, which I think is everyone's favorite position, the most sexually intriguing position.
Arousing.
This is where a lot of your man crushes are. But this is also the position where a lot of top picks have disappointed. I guess that's my first comment is, Julio fine,
Yeah.
Mike Evans. Oh, I once again feel so validated. Because the rest, AJ Green, how far does it, dude?
Well, the Bengals,
Jesus,
they're scary.
Jesus.
They're scary. Fired the offensive coordinator before they got on the bus after the game.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have Bill Lazor stepping in to call plays.
Right.
Unfortunately, Marvin Lewis is still there, which
Mhm.
means Joe Mixon will probably not see any more run than he has been getting.
you don't think the change of the guard? Didn't they change the offensive coordinator?
They changed the court, yeah.
So you don't think that might lead to some
Because
mix in
Lewis
usage?
is still Lewis, man.
Okay.
And he's still
And
just
he's a
a
rookie hater.
stubborn
rookie hater.
old cretin.
Yeah.
Who wants to keep running Jeremy Hill and Gio Bernard out there, and I don't know. And questionably too, they scratched second-year receiver Tyler Boyd before the game.
Oh yeah, he was like, I don't even know why I didn't
He
play.
was like, I have no idea what's going on. So this team is in total
Yeah.
disarray.
Yeah, you got to bring him down. To your point, Brown is still beautiful. The one thing came in and they came is Xavier Rhodes is now officially, I think, a cornerback. Where if you have a number one receiver playing the Vikings,
Yeah.
you need to be
And he'll
cautious.
shadow. He's one of the few
yeah.
guys that'll actually follow a receiver around.
Correct.
The list is short. People talk about, this cornerback's going to be matched up on this guy.
Yeah.
Most teams don't really shadow.
Yeah.
It's a short list. It's probably Patrick Peterson, Xavier Rhodes,
Yeah. Did you know where Shadow Dez?
Jenkins
Okay.
from the Giants, Josh Norman sometimes.
Right, but he's been known to just stay
Not
on his
always.
side, right?
The Broncos don't do it.
Correct.
Who else we have left? Casey Hayward will follow. And that's kind of, so I get
Yeah.
5 guys.
Right. It's a short list.
So you got to be aware of those
Yeah.
guys really.
Who are the Vikings playing this week? Let's see who these folks got to watch out for.
I'm just trying to see if I
Find
can
any
find
Viking.
a Viking.
Yeah. How you feeling? How you feeling right
Let's
now?
get Thielen. The deactivation of Bradford prior to the game really sunk our Vikings. But the
Playing
Vikings next week
Tampa
are
Bay?
home against Tampa Bay,
Oh no.
home against Detroit, and then at Chicago. So I think that's a nice little.
Man, that's bad news for me.
Three
Mike
seconds.
Evans. That hurts.
Yeah. So you're gonna see Xavier.
Be
Rhodes.
cautious.
Okay. So we'll we'll dive in. But anyone else who was around? Let's think of those receivers. Brandon Cooks is down. T.Y. Hilton is down. Cooper struggled last week.
Yeah.
Baldwin's gotten off to a slow start.
Well, rewind. Go back. Hilton. I'll just say all Colts besides maybe Doyle.
Right. Unstartable.
It sucks because you probably spent a late second,
Yes,
third
sir.
on TY,
Correct.
hoping, Luck will be back week 2. No
Sorry.
worries.
Do not draft list for me.
Jesus,
I
you got burned bad by
Yeah.
Hilton now.
You did.
Doyle startable still
Yeah, I was excited to see that.
because he was hyper efficient.
Right.
It was like 8 for 8. So
Yeah, it was fantastic.
we'll get to him when we do Titans. But yeah, Colts are done. Who else did you throw at me? Doug Baldwin.
Yeah. Product of this slow Seattle
Again,
start.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's still very
his
talented.
productivity is going to be on a parallel with
Right.
Russell Wilson. So
Right.
once he starts to go,
Yeah.
Dougie will go. I'm
Okay.
not too worried about him.
Uh-huh. And then I
Um,
guess the whole Cooper discussion really leads you to back to the guy who scored the most points this week, the number 2 scorer of the week, Michael Crabtree. 6
Yeah.
catches, 80 yards, 3 touchdowns.
He killed it, and he roasted Buster Screen
Oh, God.
and Justin Burris, the 2 maybe worst cornerbacks I've ever watched on a television. They just routinely, it was almost comical to watch because there was one where Burris, I think it wasn't even out. He was in good position, and he's standing here waiting car just throws it a mile in the air,
Yep.
and Burris is waiting for it. Crabtree's right behind, and Crabtree is just like a 5th grader reaching over a little kindergartner for the kickball at recess. Just
Stealing his lunch
took
off
it
the
right out of his back pocket.
Wow.
But Crabtree, this is what he does. He scores touchdowns. Those contested, he's maybe the best receiver in the league in terms of contested catch rate. He does it every week.
Yeah.
That's why Carr loves him in the red zone. Strong wide receiver too.
Yeah. They didn't really need to get Cooper too involved, but I'm still praying my fingers for this breakout that we've been talking about.
It just happened to be a
Yeah.
Crabtree week,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. J.J. Nelson finished as the number 2.
Your boy,
My
J.J. Nelson.
boy.
So you talked to me about this one. They're in Indy.
Well,
the Cardinals' offense looked like crap. For
The
most of
Bannister,
game.
this was the only game I couldn't have my eye on because the GD Bannister was in
Yeah.
my way at the bar, so this was the only game I didn't physically see.
Okay.
Um,
So you want me to tell you about it?
I guess so. Yeah.
I'll tell you, because I picked. I picked the Cardinals. I
Yeah.
needed them to win this game, and I'm a Larry Fitzgerald owner.
Yes.
Who I'm heartbroken over.
I was going to ask about him.
Yeah.
Is J.J. Nelson the guy now in this offense? He's the
It's
best
so hard to
skill player
say
in this
that because
offense.
he's like literally our size out there, but scoring 22 fantasy points. But
Another
I mean,
touchdown.
they throw the ball downfield to
Yeah.
him. John Brown was inactive.
Correct.
That's something to
And
remember
he will
here.
be inactive again.
He will be inactive for probably multiple games in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely pick him up if he's out there.
Has to be. Like
Has to
last
be.
call.
But yeah, definitely in the flex wide receiver three conversation
Yeah.
for sure.
If you're struggling,
For sure.
if you got the guys in your life that are letting you down, the Crowders and
Especially because is Arizona going to be able to run the ball too? You know,
well, that's the
They're-
other
they're-
thing.
They're
And
going to
in this,
be.
he is the number one skill player in this offense now.
Yeah.
I'll give credit to Jerron Brown, who got a lot of targets, but J.J.
Yeah.
Nelson, this is the guy that they want to take the
He's
top
the
off with. So
explosive.
I'm really excited about him. It's another this is like 7 or 8 touchdowns in a row for this mother
Do you
effer.
want, let me hit on Larry real quick.
Hit on him.
because he needs to be hit on. He needs some love.
He looked slow. He looked slow.
Looks every bit of 39 or
And it's
42.
unfortunate the way, from what I saw at least, the way
Mm.
Bruce is using him this year.
Mhm.
I know he's always liked him in the slot,
Yeah.
but now they're almost playing him like in line
Okay.
as a tight end,
Oh God.
chipping a lot. A lot of his routes are drags, just a couple yards
Yeah.
beyond the line of scrimmage. No cuts, not a lot of
Right.
bang, bang,
Right.
outside, inside, moving, juking and jiving. Not a lot,
Oh,
just
boy.
very bland,
So this
steamed broccoli kind of routes.
was this finally the year?
I don't want to say it yet because I mean, especially if you're an owner too, you can't.
The
Hard to
whole
sell.
thing with this guy was that he starts off hot and then
I know.
shows his age.
But
if
now
you're showing
the,
his age
the
up
thing
front,
is, it's not like okay, the end of 2016. Now we just scrap it. Come 2017, oh, he'll probably start hot again. Why that back half of last season?
yeah.
Why isn't that the starting point for 2017?
Well, I thought because even 2015, despite the fact that he finished as probably a top 24 receiver, something like that,
Yeah.
he kind of ended slower.
yeah, I don't know. I'm
So
hoping.
I thought for me, it's like he's done this.
he's
2
still
years in a row now.
seeing a lot of targets still, which
Yeah,
is still encouraging. He's getting a lot of looks. I'm hoping he can turn it around.
You gotta hope this
Really
kid
hoping.
stays in the top
Really
36.
hoping. Yeah.
Okay.
Sanders is Sanders that looked great. Jermaine Kearse was your number 4 wide receiver.
On 5 targets, he caught 2 touchdowns from Josh McCown. Showed a willingness to push down the field, just
Yeah.
burning David Amerson,
Yeah.
which breaks my heart because this kid should be good,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just not. Are you being aggressive with him on the wire?
If I'm wide receiver needy, I will plunge into Jermaine Kearse. He's kind of established himself as the number 1 receiver in the offense.
Yep.
Robbie Anderson, nowhere really to be found. Or
Oh,
Darius
man.
Stewart, nowhere to be found.
Robbie's droppable at this point.
Yeah.
He's getting just annihilated at the line of
He gets
scrimmage.
outmuscled at the line.
That's it.
He looks very
He's just getting bullied.
scrawny. Yeah, the
He's
secret's
every
out.
bit of
The secret's out
160
on him.
pounds. Yeah, I mean,
You can't
it's
let
just-
him run by you
No
because he'll
chance.
burn you, obviously. But you jam at the line, and
Yeah, it's discouraging. And I want to get away from this notion that somebody has to catch the ball, which everyone keeps yelling in your face. It's just not true.
yeah,
And we said about
Yeah.
the Bills, and then Matthews
Nobody's
and Zay
catching
Jones
the
are
ball.
playing quite a season again, aren't
Yeah.
they? So it's like, it really, if it's a bad team, it's a bad quarterback, it's a bad situation.
yeah.
Someone doesn't necessarily need to catch the ball. And
No,
I think
they're
Bears
just-
fans are realizing
They're
that now
just bad.
too.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would say he's interesting, especially because he's their only
only viable
yeah.
offensive
He's the
fantasy player right now.
only NFL receiver that they have on the roster.
True. Okay.
Everyone else is in college or the CFL or the AFL.
Now you're throwing low blows. Okay.
Okay. Well, this is good. Suck for Sam, right? Devontae Adams is interesting as the next guy on this list because he
Jordy.
got some injuries that ruined
Yes, Jordy left the game.
Impact Land.
Jordy left the game. They say it's not significant,
Yeah.
but obviously if Jordy's missing,
Is he going to play?
I don't know. It's not Wednesday.
I think he's questionable. I think I think Cobb
Cobb
was.
also got hurt too. Yeah.
I think Cobb's stinger came up much better.
Yeah.
Jordy is a true 50-50 for this next game.
All right.
Obviously, if one of those is not playing, Devontae becomes the interesting guy we saw last year. And
Yeah.
to his credit, the touchdown catch that he made on Sunday night was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So this hurts because I thought we just nailed week 1 and we came off that and we felt good. We looked like Miss Cleo. So god damn it.
Yeah.
Mike popped off for his classic 792. Alshon popped off for a 792 and a touch.
13 targets too from him.
Yes.
Which is very encouraging.
Yes.
Firmly established himself,
Exactly. And with Wentz doing well, again.
throwing the ball 500 times a game. It's going to be a good year for Alshon.
So good to see Martavis back on the scoring wagon, although the 4 targets are disturbing to
He
say
also
the least.
drew a pass interference call on like a 50-yard bomb, which
Okay.
he could have easily caught.
And he
Not
also
interfered with.
caught a 50-yard bomb.
Yeah, so his day could have been even bigger.
God. No, so what happens with the target? So does he get a target but a no catch? Or does
I
it
think
just not count as a
statistically
target?
it's just no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something that's a good
No
noteworthy thing
attempt,
then. Right.
no target, nothing.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're encouraged. Alan Hearns was next guy up. A nice 682-1 game for him. Question here becomes, rest of the season, Marcus Lee or Alan Hearns?
I mean, for me, it's Hearns. Hearns has had a 1,000-yard season. He has the rapport with Bortles. Who was the target breakdown here? Do you have Lee up?
I
Here's
believe
Lee. Lee
I
got
think
12
he-
targets,
12,
7
yeah.
for 76. And Hearns was 7 for 682 in the score.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see what the red zone breakdown will be. I think Hearns is a bit bigger of a receiver.
Yeah.
Profiles as a more of a red zone
This
guy.
I'm split because it's like, Hearns is going to get less targets, but he's clearly got the touchdown upside.
Yeah,
that
maybe a
Lee doesn't
1A,
have.
1B type of situation.
All right, ROS. I'm just going to go with Hearns. You'll go with you go with Hearns. I'll go with Lee, and
Yeah.
we'll
Definitely
settle it at the end.
both wide receiver 3 flex conversation. though.
Yeah,
It's going to be
yeah.
a lot of garbage time in
For
Jacksonville
sure.
again this year.
I'm getting that for sure.
What else? Who
Chris
you want
Hogan
next?
was next. Feel good about him.
Hogan looked good.
Just to capitalize on a matchup you're supposed to.
Let me ask you this, off topic.
Ask me this.
Do you feel worse for Saints fans or Jets fans? Because and I know it sounds obvious if Jets fucking terrible, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
terrible.
no, it's not that obvious.
But-
yeah,
The Saints have been blessed with Drew Brees,
right.
Sean Payton,
Yep.
great offensive weapons for so many years
So
now.
many years. Last at least.
And
10
they
years.
have done absolutely nothing to improve this defense for, I don't know, 10 years?
Well, it's them and the Colts. I put them in the exact same class.
I mean, how frustrating? Because I just imagine, because the Jets I know have no hope. So
Right.
I cannot be let down by the Jets this year because my expectations are at rock bottom. That you can't, I
There was
I
nowhere to
expect them
go.
to lose every game.
Right.
So
If they do that, then that's fine.
then that's fine.
You're-
We're getting a great
you're
pick,
even.
and hopefully we nail it.
Right.
Whatever. But the Saints, you've wasted so much time, years with Breeze. Breeze's contract is up this year.
Right. No, that's the beautiful point. Is it's the investment factor. It's the sunny days of Breeze are over, and I don't
And he
think they
leaves.
have a quarterback on the roster like Aaron Rodgers ready
Chase
to take
Daniel
over
is their
Favre's role.
backup. Yeah.
So
They're
yeah.
done when he leaves town.
No, if I'm down in the bayou and I'm sucking down on some
Crawfish
some
and, guzzling gumbo and
yeah, I'm
beignets.
upset. I'm doing it in an upset fashion.
Yeah. Now you're from Georgia.
I'm getting more of a Savannah accent.
All right, well, let's get back on track.
So Hogan, I like rest of season. But yeah, I don't know.
Hogan's last man standing in that receiving.
That's really
core.
what it
Him
is.
and
It's
Cooks.
just health at this point. Yeah.
That's it.
So.
I'm on it. I don't want to talk about Brandon Coleman, but we did mention that he could be a thorn in the side of who's the guy? Michael Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll disappear once Snead comes
Yeah,
back.
I exactly. But I think it shows. Hopefully, no, he's a better red zone target than Snead. So, but I agree, he'll kind of disappear. Next guy up, Dez Bryant, 16 targets,
Yeah.
and he gives you a 7.59 and a 1.
Yeah.
This is now 2 games in a row where he really should be again around 50 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean,
Which doesn't kill you,
no, it doesn't kill you. Touchdowns are saving them.
especially with what's going on in the second round with the receivers now.
And the 16 targets, I think, tied Hopkins for the lead this week.
Correct.
Oh, no, he was in the lead. Hopkins had 13 this week. I think he had 16 last week, so
It
excuse
was
me.
Landry that had 15.
Yeah. But Dez, target machine, they threw the ball 50 times, so obviously he's not going to get 16 or double-digit targets every week. But yeah, it was pretty much shut down by Talib,
Yep.
Roby, and Chris Harris. I mean,
Continues to kind of play out like we expect.
right.
Huge volume, inefficient games.
He is, the good thing is he is established their red zone, end zone target.
You know,
You know it's going to him.
There's a
And
fade
there's a
going
good
there.
chance
Right.
that he's going to catch it.
Correct.
Stat for you as a Dez guy,
Ooh.
Dez leads the league, 7 end zone targets. Now, the
Ooh.
end zone target is a ball thrown into the end zone.
Okay.
High probability of a score there,
Okay.
as opposed
Yep.
to a throw inside the 10, inside
Right.
the 20, whatever.
Right.
Second place, you have Emmanuel Sanders and Ted Ginn, surprisingly, with 3.
Okay.
And then nobody else in the league more
Wow.
than 2 end zone targets.
So a-
Dez, 7.
Jesus.
More than twice as many.
Yeah. Now thinking
place.
back to that Giants game and that Denver game.
Live targets.
Yeah.
Live targets in the end zone.
Okay. So I don't know. I'm still on it. I think our pre-assessment was fine.
I think the matchups have shown to limit him.
Yeah.
And if he's not scoring a touchdown, he's obviously not finishing
True.
top 10 or even 20.
Very true.
Um,
But we still.
but maybe he's
Should-
scoring a touchdown more often than not.
Yeah, and like I'm thinking he should definitely get double-digit touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's on that trajectory.
It has to
for
be.
sure. For sure.
And if you get 10 this year, if you're getting 10, again with the way the second round's going, I'm kind of I'm happy. Cordell Patterson technically was the next guy because it was a long run. No part of him. Keenan Allen, such a Keenan Allen game, 9 for 100. If he sprinkles in his 8 scores, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, he's got back-to-back weeks of 10 targets.
Yeah, man.
Only caught 5 last week, but caught a healthy 9, as
And-
you said, this week.
And honestly, like it's his
Looks good.
presence that I was just not on Tyrell Williams this year at all.
Yeah.
I was not, there was all the other guys in his category.
Uh-huh.
I was taking them, not him.
Not Tyrell.
Obviously not. But I'm sorry, just like
Yeah.
he's gonna be limited as long as
Yeah,
they got all these weapons.
I felt okay about Tyrell coming into the year, but now, yeah. I mean, Keenan Allen's, he's going to
He's
be
the
a
guy.
target monster.
Only other name that was kind of interesting we need to talk about
Rashard Higgins.
is Rashard Higgins. Finishes the day out of nowhere with 11 targets, 7 catches, 95 yards, just signed from the practice squad, and now the de facto number 1 with Kenny Britt basically quitting on his team, and Corey Coleman once again breaking his hand.
Breaking his hand. And
I don't
he-
know how you do that 2 years in a row.
I don't know. Bad luck for him.
Is it on a catch? Is it on a fall? What's
I don't
happening?
know. But I can't imagine it's on a catch. You're a receiver. You catch balls for a living. I
Okay.
hope not.
So he's just.
But I don't know. Fragile hands.
He wish he had more hands.
But Higgins, I like him. Go out and get him. He was.
I missed the boat.
I missed the boat too. I'm
I
upset.
missed the GD boat.
But he was a highly graded prospect coming out of college. Recognized as a polished route runner, smooth route runner, good hands,
Yep.
all the intangibles that you want, just not an athletic specimen, not
Right.
one of those types.
Not a
But-
Julio.
As far as the Cleveland Browns go, a polished receiver is if you can run routes, catch balls. I mean, you're looking pretty good for them right now.
Polished receiver with great game script.
So far,
prospects.
yeah.
Right.
Kaiser might limit his upside,
Sure.
but dude, they're in Indy this week. Indy's allowed back-to-back 300 games to Carson Palmer and Goff the week before.
Okay.
Neither really with intimidating passing attacks. So Kaiser could have a nice game here. Higgins could have a nice game, definitely in the flex conversation. And then following Indy, they've got home against Cincy, home against the Jets, 2+ matchups there too. I think he could be a very serviceable flex plug-in for the coming weeks.
I'm with you. I really am. I just was scanning the list. I think we kind of hit everyone that was somewhat interesting, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for a lot of you guys, he's probably still going to be out there in some of those 12-teamers. I know he's gone in our 14-teamer. But, yeah, I'm with you. Again, I know. These things come out of nowhere. It happens every year. You just got to kind of respect it.
Yeah.
So it's
he's
encouraging
gonna
to
be
see
good.
that he has a pedigree at least to fall back on.
A lot of it with receivers too is just simply opportunity,
Right.
and he's going to get the opportunity to catch some balls.
Yep.
So
We'll wrap up the wide receiver conversation back with Washington the way we ended running backs, which is Terrell Pryor, Jameson Crowder. Just last thoughts. How concerned are you? Are you concerned about one more than the other?
if I had to say, week 1 was encouraging for Pryor because he had a
He's at
healthy amount of
60,
targets.
68,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were throwing him deep. They were throwing him in the end zone.
Yeah.
Last week was pretty damn disappointing out of him.
Let's just, you know what? Let's just see one more week.
One more week.
You're not okay. So I guess the real question is: he a buy low for you then? Is he a buy low?
Yeah, I mean, these buy low things always kind of depend on how much you're paying. But
So what would you be willing to give up?
if you're giving up, say, 5th, 6th, 7th round value
Okay,
for
so
Pryor,
what about a guy like Doug Martin?
and then it also depends on roster construction. But yeah, if I hit on my earlier running backs,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting on Doug Martin,
Yeah,
and this guy is hating on Pryor, needs
Yeah.
a running back, I would.
yeah. I mean, to me, the more that this season goes on, the more valuable that Doug Martin becomes as a trade chip
Yeah.
because it's Jaquez and he, did what we thought he was gonna do.
Maybe an
just
RB2 line.
RB2 line.
17 for like
19
67.
carries.
whatever it was, yeah.
Get your yards, get your touchdown. I'm going to see a lot of that from Doug, except with the added bonus, the better runs presumably, and then the pass catching ability.
Right.
We got to quickly run through tight ends because we got to get these guys out of here.
Okay.
Gronk was Gronk. Witten
Gronk
finishes the
was
number 2. Damn it, Ronnie.
Witten's kind of emerging as a pretty
yeah,
solid
He really
weekly
is.
play now.
I know some of it was game script. I'd be curious to see what happens next week, but this is 2 games in a row of dominance. Travis Kelce did everything in his power to make sure that he scores. I mean, that hurdle that he did was just absolutely incredible. He
Beautiful.
basically frog splashed
Beautiful.
the guy, made the guy take the brunt of it.
I think the guys we should talk about right now, Ben Watson.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I picked his ass up.
8 targets, 8 catches, 91 yards, essentially just fulfilling the Dennis Pitta role from last year.
Yes.
He's reliable. He's an ageless wonder.
I don't want to brag, but if you go back to episode 1 or 2, I'm pretty sure I mentioned
You brought up
him.
Watson. Good for you.
Right.
I think I remember that, yeah. And then the other guy we'll mention
Hunter
here is
Henry.
Hunter Henry with
Oh,
a
we're
nice
on the same
bounce
page.
back game.
Yeah.
Last week, after not seeing a target,
Yeah.
he goes 7 targets, 7 catches, 80 yards.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Gates still gets the touchdown for his record breaker.
Right.
But
Totally.
definitely,
different. So thanks to you, I panicked and dropped him
okay.
where I had him.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't want people
I
to
didn't get him
come in
back.
and be like, all right, Hunter Henry's back. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
6 for 70 every week.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay? Easy.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a good talent. But Gates is going to be out there for
Yeah.
more snaps still, as long as he's healthy.
Yeah.
Henry had a nice game here, but temper
Temper.
expectations.
Okay, so Ben Watson versus Hunter Henry. Ben
I think Watson offers you a much safer floor.
I agree.
Much safer floor.
I actually had the not a funny story, but in the Hank Fraley, I believe, I meant to do him.
Who'd you
Picked up Zach
Who
Miller,
you
Ben
doing?
Watson. Meant to do him. Picked up Zach Miller, and nobody picked up Ben Watson, and I was like, did we all just like have a complete brain
So
fart
you
here?
just reversed it?
So I reversed it and bid
Yeah.
aggressively, and I was like, bid like $6 to make sure I didn't lose him. You know, it turns out I overspent
Yeah.
by like 5. Ronnie
Yeah.
put in a bid,
Yeah.
which, but I
Ronnie-
figured I was
Ronnie
like,
picked up,
oh
yeah.
crap, like so we kind of screwed this up. So
I'm
Yeah.
excited for him. That really wraps up. I'll show some love to Evan Ingram, though.
Fleener stays relevant with a touchdown, too.
Correct. And Martellus Bennett looked absolutely atrocious. Zach Miller also worried of a pickup just because he got 9 targets in with the Bears script. So
Yeah.
we'll leave it at that. We're going to go to your 3 locks of the week, and then the show is over.
Okay, so last week we went 2-1, very close to a perfect week. We just missed on Philadelphia. We had them at 5.5. They lost late in the game by 7 to KC, but we hit on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay covering the 6.5. They won 29-7 against Chicago, and we also hit on New England, big bounce back game, -7. They beat the Saints.
yeah.
36-20.
Yep.
So for the season, for those keeping score at home, we are an even 3-3. Slightly disappointed. Could have easily been 4-2.
Yes.
But we're looking to get on the winning side this week. So first, the one game that really stands out to me this week is Denver. Bovada puts them as a 3-point favorite in Buffalo. Other sports books, you can get them all the way down at a 1.5-point favorite, which I would strongly prefer. You get it below 3, that's fantastic. But Denver has looked every bit the part of a Super Bowl contender right now.
Looks
Top
like a team
defense.
that could beat every team in the league right now.
Every team in the league. It's going to be lower scoring because Buffalo's going to want to. They'll establish the run.
Yep.
They'll be able to run.
Yep.
At home, it's always tougher to play Buffalo, and the defense is solid there.
Right.
But I think Denver emerges as a touchdown,
Yeah.
6.7-point winner here.
In theory, this is another one where Tyrod is unable to throw a touchdown pass,
Yeah.
and they'd be lucky if McCoy
And
or a running back plunges in.
we saw Denver neutralize the scrambling ability of Dak.
Correct.
Von Miller's in the backfield literally every
Yeah.
play. This guy is
They just
amazing.
look suffocating again. They
Um,
kind of took a year off last year. I don't know why. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
But they're back.
But they're back. Definitely back. So we're going Denver there.
Okay.
I'll even go on the higher end, say -3. Lock them in.
Okay.
Next, we move to Philadelphia. Staying on Philadelphia from last week, Bovada has them at a 3.5-point favorite home against the New York Football Giants.
Okay.
Giants
boy.
have looked absolutely horrendous.
One of the worst teams in the league.
Eric Flowers is a turnstile at tackle. They can establish nothing on the run. They're going to be relying on Odell coming back to 100%
Right.
to really get this offense moving in any
Yeah.
direction.
To his credit, I'd say he didn't look limited. I think, on his leg at all.
Right.
But that team just. Jesus.
Team's trash. The team is trash right now. So for me, this line should be higher, and by the end of the week, it might move up because I think a lot of the initial money might go to Philadelphia,
Right.
which will force Vegas to move it a little bit. But right now at 3.5, I like them. Philadelphia looks like the
Let's do
division
it.
winner right
Wentz. Let's do it.
now. So going Philly there, 3.5-point favorite. Then moving to LA, where the Chargers host the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers 0-2 coming off of 2 heartbreakers. Sung Ho Koo
Yeah.
can't hit a field goal.
No.
Yikes.
Yikes.
So this one, Chargers are 2.5-point home dogs. And normally, you love a home dog, but I'm sticking with KC here. 2.5 points.
Yep.
Win by a field goal in LA. LA, I don't know if you know this last week, they only had about 24,000 people in their stands. Essentially, no home field advantage.
No. Look, when them Raiders come to town, boy,
It's gonna
it's
be,
gonna be a black hole.
yeah, oh yeah.
It's gonna be a big old black hole.
So I'm still riding KC. They'll be able to put pressure on Phil Rivers. Rivers hasn't looked too impressive. Melvin Gordon could have a nice game. Chiefs, aren't about league average on the ground, but the offense looks great. I think they'll win by a field goal here.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the skill players, in theory, have a path to help out at least.
Yeah.
Maybe not go buck wild, but
Yeah. So we'll find out next week. We get on the winning side, make some money here.
let's do it.
I think we will. I think we'll be
Let's
all right.
absolutely do it.
Let's not miss the cue
No.
for the
Hit the music.
the outro. Any requests?
As he cues that up, just once again, hit us with those questions, your lineup conundrums, concerns, maybe trade values, things of that nature, guys, to buy in on or sell on if we missed any. Appreciate the help out of the continued listenership. It really means a lot. And we're trying, again, to make a concerted effort
Trying to make it better for you guys.
to get this thing moving.
Keep supporting us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you can comment on the video with your questions,
Comment.
that's super helpful.
Hit us on Twitter too. We're on Twitter
man.
at
At 3 and out. And
no vowel A there. No, we are not buying
Yeah.
the vowel.
no, the vowel was taken.
The budget we didn't budget for a vowel.
Low budget still. So, but we're fighters and we're not going anywhere.
So
It's
we'll-
Marco. It's Eric. I'm 3. He's out.